What up? This is the Tommy Cole Show. So we're gonna play some music first. Hey, Peace, can you hear the music?
Yep.
All right, cool.
Mm-mm. Oh, you're on mute.
Woo! What up?
How you doing?
Can you hear me?
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Uh-oh. What's going on with the sizzle? Okay, yeah, you gotta unmute your mic.
There we go. That better.
Awesome.
All right.
Yay. Ladies and gentlemen, St. Louis Gibbor.
Gabor. Gabor.
I never knew. Gabor. Thank you for
Yeah.
telling me. Gabor. I never knew. I never knew. How are you this evening?
I'm good. I'm good. Uh,
Good?
get some
That's
rest in. We've been ripping and running for a while now, and I haven't really been able to rest. So I'm looking forward to just getting some rest tomorrow. I got the day off.
where you been ripping and running? What you been doing?
We running around in these streets with this hip hop.
I think I saw a flyer. Don't you guys have a show tonight?
No, that was last night.
That was last.
It's a festival out here. The rains put a damper on it
Oh,
today,
wow.
but it's a 3-day festival. Dare, he put together just a bunch of graph artists, some hip hoppers, MCs, and got some food trucks pulling up.
What?
Phoenix came together. We did the first night last night. Um, Shout out to DJ Bless One and
Yes.
Just This In, Dare, Joe Bags. We did our set. Tater Crown was out there.
What?
Concrete Pinatas,
Dope.
Aota, Faded. It was a ball. We had a ball last night.
I'm
Off in
super
this
proud.
off
Yeah.
in this sketchy alley at the end of this sketchy alley, but it was all hip hop. Folks was out there hitting up the walls, and
Was there
we
like
put
like
on.
large turnout? Even
Huh?
though it was jacked up, was there a good turnout?
Yeah, it was beautiful.
I love hearing that stuff, man. We gotta
Beautiful.
get that shit going. I wanted people to know who you are in particular, not like, oh, my show is the one. Like, I don't mean to sound like however that might sound, but I just meant that, I've mentioned, well, now that I've been knowing I've been mentioning it wrong, that might make a difference too. Gibor.
Yes.
Um, where are you from? Where are you from?
I'm from California. I was born in Arcadia, went
Okay.
home to Altadena, and raised in Pasadena.
Altadena, that's a beautiful place.
But I'm a Pasadena. I'm a Dena dude. I'm a
Okay.
Pasadena guy.
Okay, so
Yes.
were you a good lifer? Did you go to the good life?
I never attended the good life. I never attended the good life.
I would have definitely met you because I was like a regular, and I kind of all the kids who used to go, we all kind of week after
Yeah.
week we start getting to know folks. I just wanted to ask. I mean, I might have missed you.
Well,
I'm,
we had a lot of run-ins with, and I didn't know that there was a good life. We had out in Pasadena. We had the E-Bar, and that was put together. A bunch of cats came together. Herb Dean,
hmm
Sekou Henderson, DJ James Broadway were heavily involved in putting together this open mic at this little cappuccino spot, this little espresso bar, in another little itty bitty alley in Old Town Pasadena. And
So,
every Saturday night, all every there was a lot of crews. It
what
was
what years are these? What's this?
this was say 92ish,
Okay,
93ish. Yeah.
okay. And did you start rapping just from the gate, or were you more poetry? Because, well, let me ask that first.
I
Have you
mean,
always?
growing up in school, I was always, I was an avid reader, and I wasn't aware, but as I got older and started sharing what I was writing, people were like, "Oh, that's different." Like they were, you know, giving me giving me compliments on my writing, and it wasn't that. I'm talking, say, elementary school, middle school. Having to just write for projects and whatnot.
Did you enter
Um,
contests and stuff?
no, no, I
No.
didn't get bit by the MC bug until I was 19.
Okay.
but I always admired it. I always loved vocalists. I always loved that. I just didn't think I was just like, how do they do that?
So
And
what made you finally jump over and just dive in? Because you're amazing.
wow, thank you, thank you. Um, I was actually I was actually getting ready to go out with some friends. I don't know. I was like 17 or so, 18. Um, and I was listening to Special Ed. I don't remember the song, but I knew it word for word. And I was getting ready. I was all pumped up to go out. I'm spitting the Special Ed, and I was spitting it not trying to sound like him. I was just spitting it with my voice, and I was like, "Whoa, that actually didn't sound like half bad." If you
Mm-hmm.
wrote something, and that's what I wrote a rhyme. And at the time, it was, I used to hang out on Topeka Avenue up in Pasadena. We had a bunch of, it was a party crew. It was a party crew. Start, he,
Explain party crew. Excuse me to the youngsters, to the
well,
folks.
the party crew was, it was all the people that we hung out with, during the week and go to each other's house, spend the night, skateboard with each other.
Okay. Okay.
Um, your but it was all friends, and we would go to we'd go to house parties together.
Okay. Got it.
Yeah, and it was actually Herb Dean. I was sitting in front of Seku's house. Herb Dean he had his girlfriend's VW Beetle, and I wrote that one rhyme. And this is Herb Dean, that's the UFC uh, referee. I'm sitting there and I spit the rhyme for him because he used to rhyme back in the day. He used to be he was a battler back in the day. He knows Micah and all of them from
Okay.
his because he was a vetted rhymer like in the early '80s, mid '80s. He was going at it, and now this is like '92 ish. And I spit this rhyme for him in his V Dub, and he said, "Yo, Shane," because that's my name. My name is Shane.
What? Yeah. Yeah. What? Shane. Thank
Yeah,
you.
and he said, "Shane, you should rhyme," and I haven't stopped since.
Dope. You never had stage fright. By the way, let me tell you what I'm eating. This is supposed to be kind of a mukbang. I don't. Where's your plate? What you got?
Who, me?
Uh huh.
Nah, I haven't even started cooking
You are hilarious. Okay, so not one of
because I
y'all.
got the time off. I thought I just got off work,
Yeah.
came home. I was like, "Oh, I'm waiting for you," but I didn't know we was an hour apart.
I did not know there was a time difference between here and
One at
Phoenix.
one time, I don't remember which one it is, but it'll be an hour off, and then it'll go when the time change comes again. We're back on the same time.
That's bananas.
Yeah,
Well, anyways, my apologies for that, and thank you
no
for your patience.
problem.
I really appreciate it. Okay, so not I never knew you were from Altadena, Pasadena. I thought you were like I know you live somewhere else. I thought you were from there.
Okay,
So that's interesting.
I've
Okay,
never. Where'd you think I was from?
like Arizona.
No, I just moved out here in 2013.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I got hip to your music because I had heard your songs like from listening you know who the Cloaks are.
Mm-hmm.
From listening to the music that Volume 10 was doing with them, I got hip to you and your music and I was like, "This brother, what? Get out of here." I don't even know how I ended up on your song, to be honest with you. I mean, Dino asked me to write a rhyme.
Oh, and thank you. That's fire. That's fire. Yeah, yeah,
Thank you. I
yeah. And there's not enough of that representation.
Yeah, for some reason, there's some super ass hater ass niggas that don't like for women to rap better than they, or not better. I would never say better, but to them is a challenge. Whereas I didn't even know they had put girl and boy rappers in the same category.
I,
So in that, they've only allowed, and this is what Fela was talking about on her previous podcast, her complaint that it's not like we don't have talent. It's not like you don't know. It's not like you haven't seen it. But for some reason, y'all pick and choose, to not tell the whole story, basically. I'm part of that story. You know what I mean? I'm not one of the originators of whatever at that place. You know, like there's the whole freestyle fellowship. There's the Volume 10, uh, BJ, T Love, all them. But I did start coming there in '93, and Skilo and I used to do shit every week.
Word up, Skilo.
Yeah, we call ourselves cousins. We were
Okay.
like good like brother and sister cousins, and and he used to make his tracks, and he made that track I wish
I wish I
for
was a
me.
little bit taller.
It was
Wish I
my
was a
first.
baller.
He had another rap to that song, but the label liked that track. So he was like, "Yay."
That's history. It's history.
People
It's
don't know
history.
that story, but that is story. And shout out to Skilo. Me and him were good friends, man. And then when he got like bigger, I don't know if you're familiar with that era or whatever. Ahmad, Ahmad back in the day when I was young. Yeah, he used to go there to Good Life too. Just a bunch of little brothers started blowing up from that
Well,
era.
since I never went there, but since I have become a fan of and knowledgeable of, and been able to meet some of the original Good Lifers.
Yeah.
I'm at the same house that the same house that I was sitting in front of with Herb Dean when he said, "Shane, you should rap," was
Hmm.
the same house that I met Medusa at.
Okay. Man,
And that was the first time and going back to women MCs, I people put labels on stuff,
she's a
but
beast.
she changed my paradigm when I saw her MCing. Because we used to just hang out over there, and she just broke into a freestyle, and I was like, okay, I don't know how to rap. Let me go and go back to the laboratory and tinker with this a bit, and has left an indelible impression on how I move as an MC every
Oh,
time.
yes.
And there's a lot of that out there, but it doesn't get as much spin and play as just the slackness and you know what I'm talking about.
So
Folks,
yeah, yes. So that's how you sharpen your sword, your blade. You listen to artists like on that level. What's some other influences? Too
man,
many. We got
well,
trash.
no, I mean, it goes on and on and on.
Yeah, I understand. I understand.
Um, of course, everything Cali. It was what because when I was you know able to start. I remember when I first got this General Electric radio for Christmas at 12 years old. That was the first time in my life that I could go in my room and choose what I wanted to listen to. I was back when the Mighty 690 was on the air. It was Kiss FM, uh, Rick D's in the morning. Tell me what time it is.
Yeah,
Don't.
I
We
won
did have
$100
K-Day.
before.
We did have K-Day. Um, but that was it too. Even in being able to go in my room and listen to what I wanted to, I couldn't listen to what I wanted to. I had to listen to what was on the radio. And so being influenced, all that music being the soundtrack to my young life, there's a lot of stuff. There's rock, there's classic, there's what was on the radio was usually what you was bumping.
What you class of? Class of what?
88.
Get out of here. Did you go to Funk Jungle?
I don't know what that is.
Okay.
I
So,
was in Pasadena. I'm a nerd. I was from school to the library to the house
oh, I love
on
the
a bike or a
library.
skateboard or on the RTD.
Hey, wait, are you one of those kids? Because this was me. I would spend the whole Saturday at the library. I would bring a
That was me. That
I
was
would
me.
sit in the aisles reading books.
Mm-hmm.
That
Yep.
was a great day for me. I always thought I'd end up being a librarian or working at.
My first job was working at the library.
That's my
At
absolute
16
favorite.
years old, I worked at the Altadena branch library on Mariposa.
That's like the dream job. Like when I
I,
was growing up.
I was young and dumb. I tricked it off.
Yeah, I get it. I get it. But yeah, yeah, that used to be a fun Saturday for me. My mom would drop me off at 9 a.m. I would stay in that mug till 5 p.m. Like,
Yeah. Yep.
And sometimes I had to babysit the little brothers there, my little brothers too. Anyway, that shit builds character, man. That's why you have such a good vocabulary in your rhymes. Now that one where it goes really, really fast, forgive me. Okay. I don't know the name of it, but it's uh please, what is the name of that
It's called
song?
The Ghost.
Oh my goodness. Can I play that? I want to play that. All right,
Yeah.
reserves. Please give me St. Louis Gibbor
Yeah.
permission to play. Oh my God, the ghost. You know why I like that? It reminds me. Did you ever watch, like, of course you did, the electric company
Yeah.
and all that shit? It reminds me of one of those type of songs.
The
You know what
electric company, huh?
I mean? Sesame Street.
Okay. Okay.
Not there's nothing base about it. I'm not trying to insult you with
Oh
the
no, and
level
in
of
the
it. I'm saying
seventies, Sesame Street had Herbie Hancock on there. You know what I mean? They had
everybody,
soundtracks. They had funky music on there. One, two,
everybody.
three, four, five. Was that
Seven,
was that was that
10,
Se- was that
12.
Sesame Street or
Yes.
was that Schoolhouse Rock?
No, that
Well,
was.
Schoolhouse Rock.
Oh God, you're right.
Yeah,
Do 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 do.
we're having
Yeah.
a moment.
Oh my God. I remember seven, and then they'd have the little pinballs rolling and stuff. Yeah, that was my. That shit still works, bro.
Yeah,
A lot of kids
yeah.
don't know about Schoolhouse Rock. I be bumping Schoolhouse Rock. Not lately because it's 12th grade and 10th grade, but I would. But anyways, back to you. So when did you start recording like full albums and stuff?
Um.
Not just getting on open mics and
Well,
all
what
that.
it, I was just moving. I was in a group situation when I was, when I first started getting access to, studio time. I was in a group called Kingdom Syndicate
Oh,
uh, with King Hinkson, AJ Starr, and
okay.
Issa Hinkson. Uh,
You
Three
still know
brothers.
them?
Yeah, AJ Starr. He's the one that produced that. What? Well, getting back to this, we were doing a lot of work, and some recording was group, some was solo stuff. As time goes on, situations, change, and I never put out a body of work, a, a solo body of work, but I did have these songs that and at one point I was just like, I didn't have no glam, no glitter. I didn't have no machine behind me. I was just like, you know what? I'm just gonna put out what I do have, and that was music to live to. That was the first one that I put out. And then during the pandemic, me and DJ Ja Blues,
Shout out.
shout out to DJ Ja Blues. We were already in motion, and when everybody else, went dormant, and then when I don't mean because a lot of people did. A lot of people really just closed up and didn't come outside. I've been outside the whole time. We was out that, and that's where the supernatural progression of the boom bap came from. I was still working. I work in grocery, so I was still I was still in traffic. I still had to be outside. I still had to be with people, and so we still kept. We was like we just started renting out this room in Scottsdale at this practice. It's a rehearsal studio. We just plugged in there, and that was the first time that I did that kind of a cohesive body of work with one DJ or one producer, I should say. And so I'm Dino keeps telling me you need to do more. And
Yeah, he gets on me about that too. I'm working on it.
well,
That's
we're doing it now. It's happening.
right. That's right. Let's see. Let me know if we can hear this properly. Is there an echo or anything? Let me know.
Nah, I can hear it. There you go. I found in life that the hardest things to let go of are those things which your hands can't hold. The bitterness of betrayal, a daunting, haunting memory, a missed opportunity, unrequited love, a dream deferred. To quote Williams Wordsworth, thoughts that do often lie too deep for tears. Here then is where the war is waged, where patience and courage give birth to the iron resolve of the Maroons to continue to stand, to keep on keeping on. I mean, if water drops can crack stone and a gentle tongue can crack bone, then I'll never be reduced to a mere whisper in the wind. My friend, I won't concede defeat of a dream deferred. I am fostering childhood imaginations running rapidly through my mind. Now, what we're doing is running a razor blade's edge, risking spoiling the moment, ruminating ruin, no line. We move like the ghost and the darkness, the Tigris and Euphrates. We move like the ghost and the darkness, the Tigris and Euphrates. When you're ready, drop the needle to the record. Let me get it for a minute. Live it life like there isn't limits. Committed to the vision, spitting life and building bridges. Fix soul food with the breaker kings in the kitchen. When you're ready, drop the needle to the record. Let me get it for a minute. Live it life like there isn't limits. Committed to the vision, spitting life and building bridges. Fix soul food with the breaker kings in the kitchen. Devils really hate to see is our people walking power and authority. I'm blessed to be, I'm blessed and not just to be. Claiming to have fruit, what is this to see? Now wait a minute, Mr. Rapper, hold on, what you mean? All you need to do with faith is a mustard seed. You're a rusty thing, that's every what to see. Until the soul of food growing ain't much to see. I tell you what we need is integrity. Though the lost man be the Jesus the world can see. Every hit the story with the golden tongue of it. He searched the tree for fakes found, and so we cursed the tree. First, if you can tell me what that means to some, it seems to walk from God is the club, not a life for me. Rightfully, they just piracy. The misrepresentation of the Latin call is trifling. Tell me when you're ready, drop the needle to the record. Let me get it for a minute. Live it life like there isn't limits. Committed to the vision, spitting life and building bridges. Fix soul food with the breaker kings in the kitchen. When you're ready, drop the needle to the record. Let me get it for a minute. Live it life like there isn't limits. Committed to the vision, spitting life and building bridges. Fix soul food with the breaker kings in the kitchen. A moment in time collides with eternal truth. Expressed off a rhythm designed to infect the youth, but with no discrimination. The old and young alike can come and sip these living waters, quenching every soul's thirsty. Whether you're the back down the captain or from you church, I can see behind your painted on smile, you're clearly hurting. And wonder if you're receiving in life what you're deserving. But if that's the case, then there's no hope, cause ain't nobody hurting. Word up, lend me your ear, and I'ma publish these properly. There's a father who's a potter, aware of the cracks in your pottery, and it regards of how you see yourself. Audacity or prodigy, to him it's considered a robbery to call us all his progeny. Honestly, the hardened heart is more deadly than hardened arteries. Hearkening to fallen angels heraldry, darken my destiny. Just a hard-headed head heading down the hard road to perdition. Not knowing the guilt of my destiny was in the power of my decisions. Listen. Tell me when you're ready, drop the needle to the record. Let me get it for a minute. Live it life like there isn't limits. Committed to the vision, spitting life and building bridges. Fix soul food with the breaker kings in the kitchen. When you're ready, drop the needle to the record. Let me get it for a minute. Live it life like there isn't limits. Committed to the vision, spitting life and building bridges. Fix soul food with the breaker kings in the kitchen. When you're ready, drop the needle to the record. Let me get it for a minute. Live it life like there isn't limits. Committed to the vision, spitting life and building bridges. Fix soul food with the breaker kings in the kitchen.
Nuts.
Yo.
How? What made you decide to flow with the violin instead of another thing? That was incredible. So quick.
Actually, that was at Ja Blues's behest. I didn't want. He shot me the track, and I dug it. I mean, it's dope. The track is crazy, but I didn't want to rap fast. You know, I'm more comfortable in, like the 93 BPMs. I like jumping around in there. And he shot it to me, and I kept on sitting on it. We ran through a bunch of songs, and I still had the track just sitting there. And then he called me one day, and he was like, you know what? I'm going to give it to somebody else. I was like, okay, cool. And then he called me a little bit later, and he was like, nah, I need you to get on it. And I said, all right. And that was the last song we recorded. And I had I had some verses that I'd been sitting on, and one happened to fit with the faster cadence, and then he had another sequence in there that was more slow. And I said, "I'll do one fast verse for you. I'll chop on one, and then I'm gonna slow it down on the second verse." And he said, "Fine, but I want you to write a hook that goes with that." That was him. That was him. And so,
That's
yeah.
how birthday did. I see y'all did do kind of like the old school homage, like the DJ first, the DJ's name first.
Mm-hmm.
Your
Mm-hmm.
name after that.
Mm-hmm.
Shout out. That's dope. That took a vision. You guys did something, you know what I mean?
Respect.
The supernatural progression of the boom bap, y'all. I
Yes,
wanted
sir.
to play this one that you did with Medusa, if that's all right.
Please do.
All right, let's
Shout out Medusa, Legend Medusa.
yes.
Bridging this generational gap is tending to be an arduous task when the weight of the world and the fate of the future lies nonchalantly in some new booty's hand. It's truly a labor of love and of patience, moving through the most gracious expression, affecting my younger sister and brethren to motivate in an upward direction. Now, how is there ageism amongst us when we're facing the craziest racism daily? How is the student more prudent than teacher, the child more learned than mama, the grace to move? Yes, to move. The move, the move. The move, the move. It's the move, it's the move.
Somewhere, some way, somehow, we done fell off. Kids more concerned about being well off.
But look at how they act.
Dirty draws, sagging jeans, $100 games on a high plasma screen. Looking dusty, but they mean it's clean. And
Sex play all day.
but in person, you barely even look at me.
Tripping.
Call me bro, when we kick it, I'll be there. If that's the case, stop sending them dick pics. If that's the problem, maybe your mama can help you fix that. If that's the problem, maybe your papa can help you fix that.
It's the move, it's the move. The move, the move. The move, the move. It's the move, it's the move.
I live hip hop. You can feel my gift when I spit. Some of y'all take my hip hop and try to wear the motherfucker like a outfit. That flow won't go.
I know. You see hip hop as this caramel complected, brown sugar, skin, cocoa butter covered, cultured, sophisticated, exotic, yet ever so intelligent woman of influence. Mind you, this vision's reminiscent of Anna Mae fighting off Ike Turner and anime. Yo, she knows how to carry herself, a child. The full weight of the ages and hold her house down, and all your simple ass can think about is, I want to smash. Ever so understated, underrated. Understand, young man, to know her is to love her. This wondrous lady is more than likely to be likened to the rain falling on the makeshift corrugated steel roof of a shanty. That's what's happening. Lynch, Bradley.
Super duper dope.
Man.
Shout out Medusa.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, and when we were in the studio, because she came out here, she came out to ASU with a Supernatural and I forget the other kid's name, and they were doing this hip hop event at ASU, and she was like, "Hey, you want to come out and rock with me?" I'm like, "Yeah." And then after that, I was like, "You want to hit the studio?" And she's like, Bet. So she came to the studio, and we sitting there listening to some Job Blues beats. And then we agreed on a beat, and then we were sitting there conceptualizing, and she looked at me. She said, "You got a gap in your teeth." Yeah, well, yeah. She said, "I do too. Let's do that." And that's where it's the movement of my tongue through my gap.
Ooh.
But in the song, we're actually talking about the gap in. Hold up a second. Hold up real quick.
It always happens, everybody. During a live, it's live, so stuff happens, I'm finishing up my
Yeah,
noodles.
you good?
Man, I made some good ass noodles with this chili soy sauce. Bomb. Then I had got those little California rolls, and I made some fried wontons.
Hold on a second. Hold on a second, real quick.
Sure,
My wife just walked in.
sure. Shout out, wife. Meanwhile, I can play another song.
All right, I'm back.
All right. When are you performing again? Like where?
Next week, let me get that information.
Okay, I'll type it in.
It
Wait,
is matter of fact, I need to be better at this.
what city? Let's start
It's
there.
in Phoenix. It's at Trill. I'm gonna pull up
Okay.
that information. So anybody that's out this way, you want to head over to Trill? Absolutely. I shouldn't have it memorized, but here we go. Trill. All right. Trill Hip Hop Shop. It's at 1817 East Indian School Road in Phoenix.
Hold on.
And this weekend, this Saturday, it's they have a annual event called Freshtivus. And this day is a day of rapping, breaking, and graffiti. Live on stage, three melancholy gypsies. That's Eli, Mers, and Scarab, plus KNXN dot wave. I'm not familiar with that.
I gotta get
Uh,
this again.
Kite 93. He's out here. He's gonna do a beat showcase. And my group, Joe Lewis, myself, and Broadway Joe Baggs will be opening for three melancholy gypsies.
Oh, that's dope.
And that's gonna be from 12 p.m. from noon to 5 p.m. Saturday, December 10th.
That's next Saturday.
Yeah.
Get out there, y'all. Okay, let me type in that address again. I'm gonna type
You
in
wanted the address?
yes.
1817
1817.
East Indian School Road, Phoenix, Arizona. You can go to Trill Phoenix on Instagram, Trill PHX. That's their Instagram handle,
Okay.
and all that information. It's really a dope. It's like a museum of all things hip hop. Um, and they always bring in somebody new to town.
Yeah.
They always Pharoah Monch was out here a few weeks ago. No, it's huge. It's a huge platform here in Phoenix, and it's straight up hip hop. It's dope.
Festivist.
Nah, it's fresh to us.
Oh God.
It's all right though. They get the
Okay.
picture.
Let me do it for real.
It's good. It's all
Real
good.
hip hop.
So you could just you could either do that or just send them to the Instagram.
IG.
Yeah, but if you're coming through Phoenix, if you're in Phoenix, you want to stop through Trill. You really want to do that. Why am I struggling with this? There we go.
December 10th. Okay.
Yes,
What time? 12 o'clock?
12 to 5 p.m.
Well, that's
Yeah.
dope. That's dope. Uh-oh.
And if the weather permits, because they had to shut down everything for Dare Fest this weekend. It was
Okay.
3 days. Sunday was supposed to be all DJs, and MCs and they had MCs and groups performing today and yesterday, but today got rained out. Okay, I'm struggling over here to stay in the center of my screen.
You okay now?
I'm good.
Okay, so how many albums do you have
Just
out?
two. I've been on, I don't know, a few, featured on other people's stuff, but only two solo.
And you mostly work with Job Blues,
That
or you have?
was actually he was the more recent person that I've worked with. I have a lot of stuff that I've done with people before I came out here, and some of that stuff is on the first album. Some of this I lost a lot of work that I'd been just sitting on, working with a particular producer,
Yeah.
and then he told me his computer crashed, and that was one of them things where I learned a
I
hard lesson
hate that. That happened to me too.
there.
Then this one homegirl, I left my music and my books and lots of stuff at her. It's a long story. She didn't see the value, so all my
Right.
old music is gone. That's why I was reaching out to Coolio, as a matter of fact, because he's the one that like financed my initial recordings and stuff. And there's some dope music.
Yeah.
I was trying to get the copies or whatever. So, but whatever, it is what it is.
Got to keep moving.
Yeah. So, are you working on something now? I'm actually working, slowly getting some things together. Finally.
Yeah, I have. Yeah, we're putting something together right now.
Very good.
I'm kind of. It'll be. It's concurrently doing some solo stuff, and then at the same time working on this Joe Lewis project with Joe Bags, and then there's some other things that have just surfaced that are looking really, 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 really good. That'll be coming up. 2023 is gonna be it's gonna be it's gonna be bubbling. It's gonna be effervescent. We're,
Yes.
we're outside and we're active.
Have you been outside of the country yet?
No, I haven't. Nope.
That's
No, I
my
haven't.
goal. Like next year, I want to get out the country and do some stuff.
Yeah, I'm expecting that. I'm expecting that. I'm expecting that.
That's
It's something about people didn't really pay attention to me in Cali. And I was running around. I was doing shows. I was, uh, but it didn't, And then I came out here, and people were like, "Oh, you're dope." I'm like, well, "Thank you." You want to do a song? I was like, "Yeah," and that's how it started. People would just have, you want to rock the mic? Yeah, and then I just kept saying yeah, and now here I am,
I
a
don't.
little
I
further
don't
down
think
the
that's
road.
intentional. I just happen to go. I'm just such a fan of goddamn music and black men. I used to go visit the different groups of rap artists around LA, right? And it was awesome because I got to hear all these different vibes. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
Um, it was just a dope time. So, what years are you talking? Because what I'm talking about is like from '93 all the way. I mean, till '97. Then stuff started changing a little bit in LA. Anyway, I don't know. I just think
Everything that ever since I started rhyming, you know, it was always I just always loved I didn't want to be a rap star. I didn't want to be, I just wanted to be a dope MC.
you
And
never tried
so,
to get a record deal or anything.
huh?
You never tried to get a record deal
No.
or anything.
Hmm.
Never. Okay.
Hmm. Hmm.
You've
No.
always just been doing it for fun.
Is that what they call it?
uh, I don't know.
No, there is the fun aspect, but it was more trying to just get these thoughts, um, get these sounds out of my head,
I get it. I
and
get
also the impact that hip hop had on me. I was very aware of the power of the spoken word, and a lot of stuff that I pen now, I kind of pen it kind of feels like I'm penning warnings to a younger version of me,
Hmm.
you know, uh, lessons that I've learned. Trying to pass on some wisdom. I'm endeavoring to take up the mantle as piss poorly as I'm doing it. I'm take up the mantle that my granny left. There was do's and don'ts that grannies used to give, and kids were still wild, and kids were still rebellious, and kids still wanted had to learn the hard way. But it was them grannies that prayed for us. It was them grannies that took us aside when we got out of line and whooped us in Sears because we was talking crazy. Oh, that was me.
That was my
Uh,
mama. So my
but
granny.
those are the places where life is being transmitted in love, and that's what I was given, and I'm endeavoring to give it back, and that's why I move the way that I move with my pen.
Did
That's
you
why I
go to
talk about what I talk about.
did you go to college?
I went to no, I went to junior college, but nah,
At
I was
college?
yeah, but I didn't finish anything.
Okay, but you went to college.
I went,
Right?
yeah, I was on campus with a skateboard and a 40 ounce.
Oh my God. Well, you seem very academic. That's why I asked. Your writing is
But
very,
like I said, I love reading. I love
yes. There's no meter of how intelligent you are or anything. I just asked. I didn't know if that was part of your development. No, so you just taught yourself. You're self-taught.
well, my like I said, my granny. I've gone to schools. I've studied under, you know, ministers. I've studied under teachers. I've studied under, different people at times, and you know, that's what I carry.
Okay.
I don't have a doctorate or a degree, or I don't have a diploma. I went and got my GED.
Okay. There's a lot of brothers I know that have the same thing. I'm not surprised. There's a song with Micah. You mind if I play that one?
Please do.
That's
The
Scorpion.
Grammy nominated Mike and I of the Good Life's own legendary freestyle fellowship.
Yeah.
That that was a bucket list moment.
Yeah, for real, man.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you talk about influences, absolutely.
I thought that song was Micah. I ain't gonna lie. When I first heard it,
Which
the
one?
um the ghost.
Really?
I did initially. I thought I told you that a long time ago. But hey, it ain't. So here we go. No, not I don't know if that was rude or not. I don't know.
Mm-mm.
I meant it as a compliment.
You're not the no. It's absolute.
Time is too short to the end is too near for me to waste these precious moments giving frozen and thin. No more broken for thought. I know I'm chosen. It's clear. I'm here for such a moment as this. Prepare for such a moment as this. Persevere for such a moment as this. I'm here for such a moment. For such a moment. For such a moment as this.
They're calling it a cryptic Coptic, collapsing your confederacy as 21 Kalishnikov salute the collective's calligraphy. The writings on the wall, the fall of Rome in the poem. Over breakbeats, I beat the bricks of busters bubbling with mimicry. There's prowess in each pen stroke, picture handleable packing or pachydermis. Magistrates master the ministry of motivating the taciturn. Brandishing multiple firearms at ambidextrous acetylene torch tip tentacles turn the industry on end, ever tightening. And spearheading, spitting life in the spirit of Shaka Zulu. Hitting hits harder than cartoon anvils with calculated concrete concentrate. Paving our own lane minus corporate cosigns or endorsements amidst these crooked-footed race horses running rancid discourses. Of course, this task before us has been proven enormous. Shifting seasons and rivers' courses, releasing copious amounts of endorphins. So forfeit before you find my 4 eyes fixed on your dinner plate. A barbarian, golden era incarnate.
Time is too short and the end is too near for me to waste these precious moments given frozen in fear. No more broken for gold, I know I'm chosen, it's clear. I'm here for such a moment as this. Prepare for such a moment as this. Persevere for such a moment as this. I'm here for such a moment, for such a moment, for such a moment as this.
2 decades of these dues paid, numerous shows slayed on stage, cultivating my trade as the ink fills the page. I'm a verbal gorilla, bending this birth waking out of my cage. Green Godzilla rampage over everything man-made, over everything being enslaved, polluting the airwaves, chemtrailing the fairways. I'd rather sun gaze into unjust ways. My child support gets paid, but nah. You didn't hear that, it's from me. I'm an underground MC that come from golden era OGs. Makuya J be drinking that OE, freestyling John Bomb in the poetry, rhyming, learning the cadence and climbing. Be patient, not to be complacent, maximize the timing. Keep our sons and daughters from dying, turn the energy into fighting. We keep the consciousness igniting, independent cause they keep lying. They keep saying get rich or die trying, stay conniving to keep each other from thriving. Planning a bureau rising on a 5G widescreen, artificial clouds and lightning. Say aloud, this art's official, call it revolution rhyming.
Time is too short and the end is too near for me to waste these precious moments given frozen in fear. No more broken for gold, I know I'm chosen, it's clear. I'm here for such a moment as this. Prepare for such a moment as this. Persevere for such a moment as this. I'm here for such a moment, for such a moment, for such a moment as this.
Like this. A kiss of death if they would touch them like I've done with scorpions like Abreu and kept his pets in micro zoos. A breath of life remaining for them soundboy when I rescued them from drowning in pools. Job blues, providing this exciting opportune occasion for this Cajun Creole blazing roasting cookouts. Good food and sustenance for souls that vibe out at intervals, shifting frequencies eternal. Any moment opponents would notice the bonus of focus. Can join us, I hope that an opus as in tone and condoners be smoking and broken and wokeness. To weed out the dopers and jokers, to coin up a vocal. I wrote when denoting I don't tell the sisters and bros who be flowing no boat or rowing no ship. Oh, we just a rope and permission to come aboard. This freestyle bloating vessel will soon be unloading a special. And indeed we bow our heads and release our swords.
Time is too short and the end is too near for me to waste these precious moments given frozen in fear. No more broken for gold, I know I'm chosen, it's clear. I'm here for such a moment as this. Prepare for such a moment as this. Persevere for such a moment as this. I'm here for such a moment, for such a moment, for such a moment as this.
You're back again?
Oh, I was just sitting here listening. I like that song, man. I just want more people to hear it.
I appreciate you. I do. Thank you. And that right there, yeah, I'd love to be eating off of making music, but I'll do it regardless.
Me too, man. Me too. Me too. Mhm. I hope that some things change, man.
It's changing as we're speaking. It's changing, you know. It's changing as we're speaking, and it's more on me than anything that is going on in the world. You know, a failure to follow through. uh, dragging my feet,
That is
procrastinating,
that's me too, man.
and there are bolts that I could have been tightened on just the presentation of what I have to offer, and that would have that'll turn the corner, and so that I have no complaints. You know, I don't know I don't know, and it's none of my business what anybody thinks about me. You know, but this is my pilgrim's progress. This is how I'm moving through the earth, and learning and applying lessons at the rate that I choose. And the only one that's hurting is me if I choose to stagnate. And that I just like emceeing. I just like rhyming. There's something about that moment. And rhyming isn't just having a beat and having a crowd. You know, the communicating, and it's a total experience. You know, some people are monotone, but I don't even believe that really, because if you get burnt by a flame, you're gonna scream.
That's why it's called soul music.
That part, man. You know what? And I've been telling everybody that I'm rocking with right now, I was like, no, I'm making soul music. I'm not, I am, there is rap, there is crooning, there is, there's everything that I could grab out of life to help me learn how to communicate to the best of my ability, whatever it is. I've grabbed from everything. That's what we're supposed to do. You go shopping at the store. You don't put the tomatoes down because they didn't grow in your yard. Nah.
Okay, what's up with a book?
That's happening. That's absolutely happening.
I was gonna
That's
say
absolutely happening.
you're definitely an academic style of writer. I could totally see it in books. Your poetry style. Okay, rap style. I mean, to me, I look at
I,
it as
I don't even. I don't. Every time I'm somewhere and I see people everywhere when trying, and it comes from a good place. They complimenting me. They're telling me, what I sound like reminds them of, or trying to, and so there's stuff that's thrown out there, and as long as you don't say I sound like somebody whack, I'm not mad.
I'm just trying to. That's just people trying to figure out
I know, and so
because it's
it's
so
all the
unique.
same thing.
It's unique.
Rapping is just talking to the beat,
Yes,
or in a timed, you know uh you have your parameters, you have your timing and your bars. That's all rapping is. But really, the most for me, the most effective tool, the most effective tone of communicating for me when people are talking to me isn't when somebody's rapping at me. It's when somebody's talking to me and they mean what they say, and you can hear it in their tone, and you can see it in their face. You can see their body. That's rapping for me. I don't want to just rap. I want to communicate to you, and I
right.
like funky beats.
Me too.
So it's just trying to trying to cook up this meal where everybody says, yeah, that was gumbo. Everybody, you know what I mean? They can
Yeah,
identify what the meal is, even if they don't understand where all the ingredients came from, or even how you prepared them.
that's the word. Identify. Yeah, that's the word.
Well, there we are.
Wow.
Identify.
Yeah, identify because when people go comparing it to or try to articulate who it may sound similar aspects of, that's all they're trying to do. They're trying to identify something different. That's why I never know exactly what people think of my rhymes. I just be doing some shit, and then you know the feedback is always awesome. You
You
know,
know, when because when I when we talked about the song initially, it was just uh volume 10 on it. And then Bag was like, hey, he got his wife on it too. And then he just shot it to me and I listened to it. And I was like, oh, that's dope, dope. That's dope, dope. I didn't expect it. You know what I mean? And then think about that. I didn't think anything about it. It's just how I live. I'm just moving in my lane through the spheres that are in my life. And these are those moments where glory appears.
how would you
I thought it
identify?
was going to be dope, and it was doper than what I thought it was going to be.
Thank you.
And the representation, what, dude? it- uh, there wasn't you're an ill MC on par with all, right there,
Damn,
right there.
I was gonna say,
We
how
were,
would you
yeah,
identify?
no.
What, like, what would it remind? Any similarities to any of
Oh,
anything?
it just reminded me of the continuum of like the sin, Medusa and Coco. Uh,
Figures of speech.
uh, what was what were those? What were the other
Asia,
pair?
T Love,
Nah, with
Ava and Rhonda.
Giant and
Yeah, Ava.
Ava.
Figures of speech.
Uh, it reminded me of Lauryn Hill. It reminded me when there was just a whole bunch of dope women outside, make throwing
Fela
their weight around.
too. I don't know if you heard
You
Fela.
know,
She was super dope too.
oh man, I listened to Narubi Selah from she's out in NY. Um, I'm a big fan of
Nilam is dope.
who else? Of course, I grew up
Cyrock,
on Lauryn Hill.
Cyrock is
Now I'm
dope
failing. I'm failing to. I'll tell you who else I used to listen to. I
too.
don't listen. I don't. Boss. Remember Boss?
Oh my
Boss was dope.
God, she was like one of the dopest.
Boss was dope.
Period, male or
Boss
female.
was dope.
Which was incredible,
Yeah.
incredible.
Um.
They hated on her, man.
Bahamadia.
Muhammad Diaz, the voice I always admired. Nefertiti came and went real quick, but
Yeah,
I like
but no, she Nefertiti represent. Uh. Oh, and what's she's from the 5 footers.
which one?
Project Blow. What's
John Skills or Neb Love, Cobra Red.
Neb Love? Neb Love is fire.
Yeah, all of them are in their own little way. Yeah, I'm an original 5 footer.
Are you
Hmm.
okay? See,
Yeah.
I'm learning some history. Learning
Yes,
some
I was
history.
at them first meetings. The tallest one, 5'7".
You ain't really a 5 footer there to kick you out.
That's basically that's that's young women. Okay,
Everybody was young back then.
so
Yeah.
I went on about my merry way, and they brought in K Shah, K Sean, K whatever her name. Shout out, don't mean no harm. I can't remember K. What a K bar, K bar. They brought K bar in, but yeah, man, yeah. I had to deal with Boys to Men. Boys to Men had a record label for a half a minute. They brought out this one cat. Do you remember this R&B dude? He wore like glasses, late 90s. I don't remember his name. He was signed to Boys to Men too. It was gonna be me, that dude, and this rap group called Metal Men, something like that. Anyways, politics.
Well, I'm glad I missed them, and I'm still glad I'm missing them.
Yeah, yeah. Me too, actually. I didn't appreciate it at that moment, but I am thankful. You know, those contracts are trick bags. Excuse me. I know nobody wants to tap into this Kanye stuff, but or the chick that got murdered in Mexico. That's been my podcast free moments when I'm going to bed, like Scooby Doo mysteries and shit. I
Oh
listen
yeah,
to
I don't
podcasts.
even.
You don't know what I'm talking about?
I don't. I do not get involved,
Wow.
ma'am. I
That's not bad though.
do not get involved.
That's pretty good actually. Probably keeps you mad peaceful, mad calm. I like knowing what's going on though. I haven't been reading books, so I guess that's the equivalent to like reading, listening, audio, stories. You know what I mean? I don't know. Anyways, when the time comes, will you do a song with me?
Absolutely.
Okay, I've been working on making my own beats, some of them. I made like
All
three of
you gotta
mine.
do. All you gotta do is shoot it. Shoot it. I got you.
Cool beans. I don't
All
have a
right.
whole lot. Did you want to share some stuff? Because I just wanted people to be familiar with you, know who you are, that you in your big back boots and all this. Oh, my cousin's calling me. This is not. I, I'll call her right back. I'll call her right back.
Yeah, just go ahead and link up with me on just your favorite social. I'm on Instagram and I'm on Facebook. Holla
Okay.
at your boy. You
Hey, how many?
see what I got going on.
I was gonna say, how many children do you have?
I have 5.
What's their ages?
They're all of them are adults.
Get out of town.
Hmm.
I'm the only one that's got like children. Like I got started late.
And I got a grandbaby. She was just over here earlier, just before we got on this.
Congrats, man.
Yeah, she ain't feeling good, so she's over here snotty nosed up.
You got
Got
some.
the whole little living room area. Is her. She calls it her obstacle course. She got
Oh,
all these little tunnels and little dog run over there or something.
you got lemons. Lemons.
Hmm?
You have lemons.
I have oranges.
Well, those are good too. That's good. You know, if you get some and put some water in it, like squeeze some water in the orange slices, and then like put it in water, something like that, and then have her drink that. That'll dry up that mucus. Lemon is really good for that. I should be a naturopathic doctor or herbalist or something. And turmeric. You have some turmeric?
Always got some mint. I couldn't find ginger,
Oh, you're already on it.
so
Hey, you're already on it.
I've been
Dope.
around the block a few times.
Dope. What would you say is the inspiration to your writings, or you just kind of go with how the beat makes you feel? I've heard artists tell me that. That's how I feel too.
My desire is to one day hear, "Well done, thy good and faithful servant."
Dang, that was heavy.
That's, I, Judgment Day. There is a judgment. I believe there's a judgment day. Not everybody does, and I'm okay with that. You know, but uh,
With, with the scale. Ooh,
yeah.
the time of Libra.
So there's that.
Very dope. I want to just say thank you for your contribution to the culture. What's Saeed?
You know what it is, and thank you.
And I don't have a whole bunch more to say. That was it. I just want people to know.
Well, I'm glad that I'm glad that you invited me on your platform.
I'm
Um,
very appreciative that
Man, you and your family have been nothing but a blessing to me. You and your husband have been nothing but a blessing to me, and you know, whatever I have is yours.
that's very
So,
cool. Thank you very, very much. Thank you. Well, that's it, y'all. Shank Lewis Gibbor. Wait a minute. What kind of name is that, Gibbor?
St. Louis Gabor.
I mean, what is is there a story behind the name?
Yeah,
If you don't mind.
and it in 1999, I was in the middle of a pretty heavy crack habit. I was ripping
Oh,
and running around the streets. I was in and out of rehab. Um, no, that was no. Yeah. And I just kept running into walls, and then really the wall was me. And every time I got caught up, it was getting worse and worse. I know right from wrong, but anyways, I, I I asked my grandmother to pray with me, and I know she prayed. I believe she prayed for me my whole life, and even in this prayer, I kneeled by her bedside. She sat on the edge of the bed, and she didn't say a verbal word. And I had a moment where God moved on me in a physical, spiritual. Even now, it kind of it. The scripture says that what is it? It's a fearful thing to fall into the hands of the living God. And at times, I believe He gets close enough to us where, we feel different textures. And when He gets close, it's scary. And anyways, I went straight to church, and I met a man of God, and he started preaching. I just walked into a service. I wasn't invited. It was 3 blocks from where I grew up. I'd never been in that building in my life. I walked in, and this man was preaching from the pulpit like he'd been in my bedroom. And after that, I approached him. I wanted to know what he knew. And so I started following Apostle. I started discipling under Apostle Charles L. Tucker out of Jubilee Christian Faith Center in Pasadena, California. And he kept calling me Lewis. His wife, his kids, everybody's like, why you keep calling him Lewis? His name is Shane.
right.
He kept calling me Lewis. And I didn't know a lot about the scripture, but I was familiar with that. Many times in scripture, when people had an experience with God, He gave them a different name. So I just took it like that. So that's where the Lewis came from. So I'm reading through the Bible, and I see where I'm doing word studies, and I'm seeing where angel and words like champion and mighty man that are translated into these English terms come from this one root word, Gibbor, mighty man. Like, okay, let me speak that which I don't see as if it is into me. So I went with Louis Gibbor. And the saint is scripturally, all a saint is, Jesus says yes to you. Do you say yes? Saint means elect, chosen. He chose us. Do we choose to choose Him? So, and because St. Louis is something that people are just familiar with, I was like, St. Louis Gibbor. I was like, okay. And then I found out about 5-6 years ago, my grandfather that I never met, my grandfather was murdered when my daddy was like 9 years old. And then my daddy had to go to school every day with the girl whose daddy shot my granddaddy.
Yeah.
And he said every day he whooped her ass. And my daddy grew up angry. And when I was like 4 and 5, I started mimicking his anger. People started saying to me, oh, you got your daddy's temper. And I never knew why my daddy was angry until about 6 years ago. And my granddaddy that died, his name is Lewis. And then I started looking, and I was like, oh, wow. One of the names for God is El Gibbor. So when I found out, when all of this started coming to me, I was like, you know what? I felt pretentious at times saying my name is St. Louis Gibbor when I'm Shane. But with all of that, I was like, well, I'm going to have to hold on to it a little bit longer, because not only do I have my Heavenly Father's name, El Gibbor, the God of War, but also Louis Gibbor. Louis, my granddaddy's name. So that's where it came from.
What the odds of that?
Yeah, I
That's
don't believe in coincidence either.
that's incredible. That's really incredible. Louis. He beat her up every day. How come the mama didn't get involved?
Huh?
How did he get away with beating up a little girl every day?
He probably got into a lot of trouble.
I mean, you can't blame him. You know what I'm saying?
It's a kid. It's a kid responding to the loss of, like, your daddy killed my daddy. No, that's a kid.
Right.
There's grown people that would take the same route.
Mm-hmm.
But I didn't know why my daddy was mad. I just knew he was, he had this, and now I got it.
Is he still like that?
Nah, he's turned the corner a long time now.
So getting into your deeper spiritual practices helped you get over your addiction and brought you closer to your universal experience.
It just the closer you get, and your walk is yours. You can choose to walk as close as you'd like to, or you can choose to, meander. And there are direct results that are obvious internally and externally, with people that are truly walking walking the path. And so I'm not a perfect man. But I do know whose I am. And that suffices.
And you know what? I had a gap in my teeth before they took my teeth.
And on that note,
yeah. So there we go with that's beautiful that you have the outlet of creating flow. You know what I'm saying? That's beautiful. That's it. I don't even know what else to say. That was so powerful, man. That was very powerful.
Well,
your grandfather, and then the man calling you Louis, and then, you know what I mean? Finding inner peace. Right.
Steady trying to find it. I
Keep
know where it's at, though.
it.
I know where it's at, and I know where it ain't.
Whose I am. That's a double entendre, you know what I mean? Because it's, who, like possessive with apostrophe S, whose I am, and then whose I am. You could be like, who is I am? Because I am, they say, is the name of the Most High, right? So that, I just thought I'd say that little third moment.
There we go. Well, I am blessed. I am Christopher Shane Irvin. I am St. Louis Gibbor. I am one half of Joe Louis. I am from Pasadena, California. I am rocking outside Saturday, December 10th, out here in Phoenix at Trill. Come on down. Your favorites will be in the building. I am putting one foot in front of the other. I am.
That's dope.
All right, sister. Let me get up out of here. Thank you for having me.
Thank you very much. I will be hitting you up about that song. Thank you guys for checking in with Chit Chat Podcast on the Tommy Nicole Show. Thank you. Subscribe, click like, do it, share this. All right.
Godspeed, Godspeed.
Peace.